What's up, viewers, subscribers, and agents alike? It's your boy Enlightened Luciferian Prince coming at you again with another tidbit of information, especially pertaining to today in the most serious sense of the word. I want to introduce you to a concept that is probably not known, in the general mainstream public, but I want to introduce you to economic amplifiers. And economic amplifiers are what we are faced with today, especially during this so-called coronavirus epidemic. And I think my next video will be on consent. Consent is the more appropriate form of economic energy and sustainability as far as how things work. And this is going to be a little bit of a longer video, but a little longer nonetheless. And here we go. Let's dig in. And agents, I know how you think. Sit back. No more coffee on my channel. All raw and uncut. Straight air, So if it gets a little bit hot, you can exit, to the left. And for the rest of you people, all you loyal subs, pay close attention to what I'm getting ready to say because it's vitally important. All right. Introduction to economic amplifiers. Economic amplifiers are the active components of economic engineering. The basic characteristic of any amplifier, mechanical, electrical, or economic, is that it receives an input control signal and delivers energy from an independent energy source to a specified output terminal in a predictable relationship to the input control signal. The simplest form of an economic amplifier is a device called advertising. If a person is spoken to by a TV advertiser as he was spoken to as he were a 12-year-old, then due to the suggestibility, he will with a certain probability respond or react to that suggestion with the uncritical response of a 12-year-old and will reach his economic reservoir and deliver his energy to buy that product on impulse when he passes it in the store. An economic amplifier may have several inputs and outputs. Its response might be instantaneous or delayed. Its circuit symbol might be a rotary switch if its options are exclusive, qualitative, go or not to go. Or it might have its parametric input-output relationship specified by a matrix with internal energy sources represented. Whatever its the form might be, its purpose is to govern the flow of energy from a source to an output sink in direct relationship to an input control signal. For this reason, it is called an active circuit element or component. Economic amplifiers fall into classes called strategies. And in comparison with electronic amplifiers, the specific internal functions of an economic amplifier are called logistical instead of electrical. Therefore, the economic amplifiers not only deliver power gain, but also in effect are used to cause changes in the economic circuitry. In the design of an economic amplifier, we must have some idea of at least 5 functions, which are 1. The available input signals. 2. The desired output control objectives. 3. The strategic objective. 4. The available economic power sources. 5. The logistical options. The process of defining and evaluating these factors and incorporating the economic amplifier into an economic system has been popularly called game theory. The design of an economic amplifier begins with the specification of the power level of the output, which can range from personal to national. The second condition is accuracy of response. An example, how accurately the input action is a function of the input command. High gain combined with strong feedbacks helps to deliver the required precision. Most of the error will be put in the input data signal. Personal input data tends to be specified, while national input data tends to be statistical. Short lists of inputs, questions to be answered, what, where, why, when, how, and who. General sources of information, telephone taps, analysis of garbage, surveillance, behavior of children in school, standard of living by food, shelter, clothing, and transportation, social contacts, telephone, itemized record of calls, family, marriage certificates, birth certificates, etc., friends, associates, etc., memberships in organizations, political affiliation, the personal paper trail, personal buying habits, i.e. personal consumer preferences, checking accounts, credit card purchases, tagged, Credit purchases, the credit card purchase of products bearing the UPC, which means Universal Product Code. Assets, checking accounts, savings accounts, real estate, business, automobile, etc., safety deposit at a bank, stock market, liabilities, creditors, enemies, see legal, loans, government, sources, which employs, welfare, Social Security, USDA surplus food, doles, grants, and subsidies. Principle of deploy. The citizen will always make the collection of information easy if he can operate on the free sandwich principle of eat now and pay later. Government sources via intimidation, Internal Revenue Service, OSHA, Census, etc. Other government sources, surveillance of the U.S. mail, habit patterns, programming, strengths and weaknesses, activities, sports, hobbies, etc. See legal, fear, anger, crime record, hospital records, drug sensitivities, reaction to pain, etc. Psychiatric records, fears, angers, disgust, adaptability, reactions to stimuli, violence, suggestibility or hypnosis, pain, pleasure, love, and sex. Methods of coping of adaptability behavior, consumption of alcohol, consumption of drugs, entertainment, religious factors influencing behavior, other methods of escaping from reality. Payment methods, modus operandi, pay on time, etc. Payment of telephone bills, energy purchases, water purchases, repayment of loans, house payments, automobile payments, payments on credit cards. Political sensitivity, beliefs, contacts, positions, strengths, weaknesses, projects, and activities. Legal inputs, behavioral control, excuses for investigation, search, arrest, or employment, or force to modify behavior. Court records, police records, NCIC, driving records, records made to police, insurance information, anti-establishment acquaintances, national input information. Business sources via IRS, prices of commodities, sales, investments in stock, inventory, production, tools and machinery, buildings and improvements, the stock market, banking and credit bureaus, credit information, payment information, miscellaneous sources, polls and surveys, publications, telephone records, energy and utility purchases, short list of outputs. Outputs, create controlled situations, manipulation of the economy, hence society, controlled by control of compensation and income. Sequence, 1, allocates opportunities. 2, destroys opportunities. 3, controls the economic environment. 4, controls the availability of raw materials. 5, controls capital. 6, controls bank rates. 7, controls the inflation currency. 8, controls the possession of property. 9, controls industrial capacity. 10, controls manufacturing. 11, controls the availability of goods, commodities. 12, controls the prices of commodities. 13, controls services, the labor force, etc. 14, controls payment to government officials. 15, controls the legal functions. 16, controls the personal data files, uncorrectable by the party slandered. 17, controls advertising. 18, controls media contact. 19, controls material available for TV viewing. 20, disengages from real issues. 21, engages emotions. 22, creates disorder, chaos, and insanity. 23, controls design of a more probing tax form. 24, controls surveillance. 25, controls the storage of information. 26, develops psychological analyses and profiles of individuals. 27, controls legal function. Repeat of 15. 28, controls sociological factors. 29, controls health options. 30, preys on weakness. 31, cripples strength. 32, leeches wealth and substance. One of the most powerful videos online. And it came from me. Straight up. It's the modus operandi, people, of today's society. Irrespective of all the jargon that people talk about on these social media channels, I think the problems are a lot more significant. And trust me, like I said before, spreading information is not wrong. It's not wrong. It's not wrong at all. That's how I got this, because of spreading of information. You know, I don't work for any governmental entity or whatever the case may be. I do not. But spreading information isn't wrong. Information and misinformation are different things. But when something it lines up with the specific agenda of how things work in the society, I think people should pay close attention to that, because that's what's happening today on a large global scale. People, trust me, you can believe what you want. It's quite all right. It's your opinion, and your own conjecture, your own realm. But if you don't look at it as the world we live in on large, as all of us, I don't care if you call yourself Moor. I don't care if you call yourself Asian. I don't care if you call yourself indigenous. I don't care about none of that. You're still dealing with the same world. You're dealing with the world, which is called the artificial womb, and you're still dealing with it by consent. That's what people's problem is. And that's one of the reasons why people have been duped by a lot of people, because they mix civics, culture, and socioeconomic issues, and they try to bundle them all together. And trust me, you don't have an institution that allows you to do that. See, you have to go by the universal strength. See, a lot of these people on these channels, they go by their own strength. They go by what they think. You know, no matter what you believe, unless you speak the language of the spirit, you're speaking nothing but Anglo-Saxon English. I don't care how you put it. And you know what I mean? It's the truth. If you don't speak the language of the spirit, which is true, then you're speaking nothing. You know, those are dead things. Those are things that don't profit anything. See, this is hardcore facts, you know, and some people may have to play this video over and over and over again because I sped through it. But this is something that's hardcore evidence, you know. It's the truth. People don't want to come to the reality of the emergency that we're in right now, and on a global scale. It's not about you right now, you know. And people have to get out of their. They have to get out of their. What's the word? They have to get out of their comfort zone, so to speak, because if they don't, you know, you're gonna hide behind these concepts. But you have to realize that this is a plan that was implemented by the elitist ideology, you know. And I try to express that to people because, yo, unless you have knowledge, you're not going to excel. You know, it's not so much about finding a way out, so much about finding a way in and dealing with the world that you're dealing with, you know, and dealing with it on a higher intellectual plane and not just looking at it from the socioeconomic, political theory that we're dealing with today, because that's just useless. That's just to keep you distracted from what the real purpose is, because as I tell people before, they know the agenda and you should too. And you should also move in line with what it really is. I'm not saying go along with it. I'm saying go along with it in a competent manner, peacefully. You know, not going out there just tripping, you know, just you know, spreading anarchy, because I don't promote that. I promote enlightenment. I promote awareness. I promote knowledge. I promote the safety and well-being of all living people who have a right to be here on the face of this earth, just like everybody else. Simple. Irrespective of the conscientiousness of what they have, that they feel like they are the only ones who are supposed to rule society, that's not right. It's not your duty to do that. And trust me, I'm creator protected. So irrespective of whatever goes on, I don't care, because the truth is I have a right to be here just like everybody else. I didn't ask to be here, but I'm here. And since I'm here, guess what? Y'all know it's coming. Y'all like I lay back. Hold on, I catch you slipping. I'm in your face, man. Simple. People, this is hardcore facts. Simple. This is hardcore facts. Whether people like it or not, I don't care. Doesn't really matter, but it's hardcore facts. Peace. I love y'all. Agents, you know what it is. Take care, y'all. Stay tuned.